Something shocking is happening in America right now. Entire communities are being torn apart. Under stricter immigration laws, mass deportations are surging, leaving thousands of immigrants in fear, uncertainty, and desperation. Families are being separated, businesses are losing workers, and entire neighborhoods are changing overnight. But which countries are being hit the hardest? Could your country be on the list? Stay with us as we reveal the 20 nations where deportations are happening at an alarming rate. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end, because this is an issue that affects millions. Do you think these deportation policies are fair or too extreme? Let us know in the comments below. 20. Nigeria. Families torn apart overnight. For decades, Nigerians have been among the largest African immigrant groups in the US, but today, they're facing mass deportations due to expired visas, asylum denials, and legal issues. Even those who have lived in the US for 20+ years are being sent back, often separating parents from their children. Shockingly, some Nigerians have been deported despite having legal paperwork pending, a move that has outraged human rights activists. The question remains: are these removals justified, or is this an extreme measure? 19. Mexico. Border crossings turn into deportation traps. Mexicans make up the largest immigrant group in the US, but stricter border enforcement means record-breaking deportations. Migrants caught crossing illegally are now being sent back within hours, leaving border shelters in Mexico completely overwhelmed. But it's not just border crossers. Many long-term undocumented Mexicans are suddenly being rounded up and deported, leaving behind jobs, homes, and families. Is the US finally taking control of its immigration crisis, or is this too much, too fast? 18. Ghana. US retaliation leads to mass deportations. Ghana has resisted accepting deported nationals for years, but now, under Trump's new policies, the US is retaliating by cracking down hard on Ghanaian immigrants. Many are being forced onto deportation flights even if they have no immediate family in Ghana anymore. Some had pending asylum cases, but those are now being dismissed without hearings. The fear is real. Ghanaian Americans worry their families could be next. 17. Guatemala. The humanitarian crisis no one's talking about. Guatemala has always been a major source of migration to the US, but now, deportations are happening at an all-time high. Thousands are being sent back each month, many of whom have lived in the US for years. With job opportunities scarce and gang violence rising, these deportees face a terrifying future in a country they no longer recognize. Some deported Guatemalan children don't even speak Spanish, having grown up in the US. Their futures? Uncertain and frightening. 16. El Salvador. Losing TPS protection means mass expulsions. El Salvadorians were once protected under the Temporary Protected Status (TPS) program, but Trump ended that protection, leading to mass removals. These are not criminals. Many of them have spent decades in the US, working, raising families, and contributing to the economy. Now, they are being deported to a country plagued by gang violence. Their crime? Living in the US without full legal status. 15. Venezuela. Fleeing one crisis, only to face another. Venezuelans fled to the US to escape one of the worst economic collapses in history, but now, many face forced removal. With TPS under review, thousands don't know if they will be allowed to stay or be forced back to a nation still in political and economic turmoil. Even doctors and skilled professionals are being deported at alarming rates. But will the US regret losing such talent? 14. Honduras. US turns its back on asylum seekers. For years, Hondurans escaping poverty, crime, and political corruption sought asylum in the US, but under Trump's new policies, many are being denied and deported immediately. With gang violence skyrocketing and no safety net waiting for them, these deportees have nowhere to go. Is America truly cracking down on illegal immigration, or sending people back to die? 13. China. Student and work visas get cancelled. Even Chinese immigrants aren't safe. Thousands of students and skilled workers are being removed after overstaying their visas. These aren't just undocumented workers, many are engineers, researchers, and professionals. But under Trump's America First agenda, no exceptions are being made. Even Silicon Valley is worried. What happens when America starts losing top foreign talent? 12. Haiti, a tragic end to a new beginning. Haitians who came to the U.S. after the 2010 earthquake are now facing mass deportations as their protected status expires. These immigrants built homes, businesses, and families, but now they are being told to pack up and leave, even though Haiti remains one of the poorest and most unstable countries in the world. The question is, does America owe them protection, or is it time for them to go? 11. India, tech workers forced to leave overnight. Thousands of high-skilled Indian workers on H-1B visas are being forced out as visa renewals are denied at record levels. Tech companies like Google and Amazon heavily rely on Indian talent, but now, their best employees are being deported back to India, where job prospects are limited. The result? A brain drain that could hurt America's tech future. 10. Pakistan, asylum seekers face deportation at record rates. Pakistanis who came to the U.S. on student visas, work permits, or seeking asylum are now being sent back in massive numbers. Many asylum seekers fled religious persecution and political instability, hoping for protection in the U.S. but under Trump's tougher immigration policies, even pending asylum cases are being dismissed, and deportation flights to Pakistan have skyrocketed. For many, this isn't just about leaving the U.S. They fear returning to a country where their lives could be in danger. Is this about enforcing the law, or is it a death sentence for some? 9. Brazil, entire communities uprooted. Brazilian immigrants, especially in states like Florida, Massachusetts, and Texas, are being deported in shockingly high numbers. Many of them came legally but overstayed their visas, while others were brought as children and have known no other home. But the U.S. deportation raids are now targeting entire communities, forcing families to flee in the middle of the night to avoid being separated. The result? Businesses shutting down, empty schools, and a broken sense of trust in the system. 8. Philippines, healthcare workers at risk of mass removal. Filipinos make up a huge portion of America's healthcare workforce, but many are now facing deportation due to expired work visas and stricter renewal policies. Nurses, caregivers, and service workers, people who have been on the front lines, saving American lives, are now being told to leave immediately. Hospitals and nursing homes are already feeling the impact, struggling to find qualified replacements. But here's the question: can the U.S. afford to lose them? 7. Somalia, fleeing war, only to be sent back. For years, Somali refugees have sought asylum in the U.S. to escape civil war, famine, and terrorism. But now, deportations are rising fast, even for those who've lived here for decades. Some deported Somalis don't even remember their home country because they arrived as small children. Now, they are being sent back to one of the most dangerous places on earth, where terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab target returnees from the West. Is the U.S. prioritizing immigration laws over basic human safety? 6. Cuba, a sudden shift in U.S. policy. For years, Cubans had a unique immigration status that made it easier for them to stay in the U.S. but not anymore. Under Trump's new policies, Cubans are now being deported in large numbers, despite the fact that Cuba remains politically unstable. Families who once believed they had permanent refuge in America are now living in fear, unsure of what will happen next. Has the U.S. abandoned those seeking freedom from oppression? 5. Dominican Republic, a shocking spike in deportations. The Dominican community, especially in New York and Florida, is facing one of the highest deportation rates in decades. Many Dominicans built thriving businesses and strong communities, but now, they're being sent back even if they have lived in the U.S. for 20+ years. The impact? Families torn apart, businesses collapsing, and entire neighborhoods left empty. 4. Colombia, the silent mass deportations. Colombians may not be in the headlines, but deportations have surged under Trump's stricter immigration policies. Thousands are being removed, many without due process, leaving them no time to say goodbye to their families. The emotional toll is devastating, with communities in Florida, New York, and California feeling the loss deeply. 3. Ecuador. Families destroyed in a matter of days. For Ecuadorian immigrants, deportations are happening faster than ever. Many have lived in the US for decades, paying taxes, owning homes, and raising children, yet they are now being sent back with just a few days' notice. Some deported parents are forced to leave their US-born children behind, leading to heartbreaking separations. The question remains: is this about national security, or is it cruelty? 2. Nicaragua. Fleeing persecution, only to be denied safety. Nicaraguans who fled political persecution and government violence are now being deported at alarming rates. Many came to the US legally, seeking asylum, but now they are being told they no longer qualify. What's next for them? A return to a country where speaking against the government could mean imprisonment, or worse. 1. Peru. The most shocking deportation surge. Peruvians are being deported faster than almost any other group, with immigration raids increasing daily. Many have been in the US for decades, working, building businesses, and contributing to the economy. But now, even those with legal work permits are seeing their status revoked, forcing them to leave with no warning. The American dream is turning into a nightmare for thousands. Is this justice or a humanitarian crisis? Deportations are happening at record levels, and families are being ripped apart overnight. So we ask you, are Trump's immigration policies necessary, or is this going too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on this global crisis.